the kickoff for the mock legislative committee hearings today. You guys are the ones that are going to make this work. Myself, Mr. Chisholm, Mrs. Felflig, Mrs. Lymans, we built the car, you have to drive it. Okay? So I just want to have a little bit of a meeting to go over the rules of the road today so that we can all have a fun and safe trip. All right? Now, I just want to look at the friendly reminder form. We're going to go through this and some other items. All right? And those of you that are clerks, secretaries, parliamentarians, you're like, I'm not quite sure what I'm doing, I'm going to tell you right now. All right? So have no fear. All right, looking at the friendly reminder form. First off, do not acknowledge any move to recess unless they're for a legislative purpose, like to informally discuss a bill before voting or discuss a possible amendment. If people need to go to the bathroom, they can bring their IDs up and see Mrs. Burkhardt over here. The bathroom in the back will be open too that they can use. They need to get a drink of water, tell them to get up and get a drink of water from the fountain. We're not having a large, massive recess of 30 kids roaming around to go play on the monkey bars, buy a Coke from the vending machine, get Cheetos, or go to the bathroom. All right? So if people need to go to the washroom or get a drink of water, they can get up in between bills or something and go do that. Only people in attendance can vote. So if people are away giving a speech or if people are absent, they can't vote. They can't leave a note for their friend to vote. All right? There's actually a big scandal about this in the General Assembly yesterday where there was a bill that was brought before the General Assembly in Springfield and more people voted than were there. And Governor Quinn launched an investigation because people were pushing other people's buttons to vote for them. Okay? You can't do that. You have to be there to vote. All right? So if people are absent, just like in the class, you don't vote. You don't put present down for them. You just leave it blank. They're not there to vote. To pass a bill, a majority of those assigned to the committee have to say yes. So what you're going to do when we're done here today, in just a little bit, is look at the number of people that are assigned to your committee and add them up. Divided by 2. Add 1. That's the vote you need to pass a bill. So if there's 25 people in your committee, you need 13 to pass the bill. If there's 24 people, 13 to pass the bill. 22 people, 12 to pass the bill. If people are absent, it's still the same number. Okay? Now, if the majority chair has to step away because they're the speech giver, the minority chair takes over, and vice versa. That's why there's 2 chair people, all right? So you kind of help each other out. Okay, who are my clerks in the house? Clerks. Loud and proud. All right, clerks, your job is to keep time. There's a stopwatch in the red folder thingamajiggers. That's right in front of Miss Orizaba. Can you hold up the red thingamajigger that's in front of you there? Okay, the red folder, the accordion folder. There is a stopwatch in each of those. So clerks, you have the stopwatch. Now we don't have a fancy schmancy light system for all of you. We have low budget light system. Lorena, I think in there is probably a red card, a green card, and a yellow card. Oh my gosh, it's almost like I planned it out. All right, so when someone's time begins, green card. 30 seconds left, clerk. Yellow card. Time expires, red card. All right? So it's low budget light system today. All right? So that's what you're going to use for the lights. All right. The clerk is also going to mark the overhead transparency during the record vote. So clerks, when it's time to take a vote on each bill, you're going to come up front and put the overhead up. And there's an overhead pens in the red accordion binder as well. You're going to come up here, and as the chair reads off the names, you're going to mark it. Okay? So clerks, that is your job. Who are my secretaries? Secretaries. I only have one secretary. I'm scared. There's no other secretaries here. Okay, there's more secretaries. Okay, secretaries. Victoria, I love that you're so organized. I just want to say that. Secretaries, your Democratic chairperson has a form that looks like this. Secretaries, you need to get this paper, secretaries. Because your job, secretary, is to keep track of discussion during the discussion record, during the discussion. The secretary is going to fill this out, and it has a key at the top. If someone makes a longer comment, you're going to put a plus by their name for each bill. If it's a real short comment, a minus. A minus doesn't mean bad. A minus just means it's really short. And then an A means they're absent for a majority of the discussion. So you're going to keep track of these discussion sheets. And at the end of the day, secretaries, I would like you to meet Ms. Felfley right here. Secretaries, you need to give this paper to Ms. Felfley at the end of the day. All right? Otherwise, I cannot be responsible for what happens to you. Okay? So secretaries, you need to turn this in to Ms. Felfley by the end of the day, all right? Okay, looking at this, the secretary is also going to deliver the bill status form. The secretary will also fill out the paper copy of this. You're going to fill out the paper copy of this, secretaries, that your chairmen have. And you're going to deliver the bill status form to the box in the front of the LRC at the end of each bill. Okay, so secretaries, you're going to fill out the paper copy that looks like this, and you're going to attach to it one of these bill status forms. And you're going to bring this up at the end of each bill to the box that's on this round table right here. So you get up at the end of each bill while we're in between, while we're waiting for the new speech giver, and you deliver it over here. That's important because, one, the Rules Committee is meeting after all of this to decide the bill order for the full session. We need to know what bills pass or fail. And two, at the same box you're putting the bill status forms into. And let's just review amendments very quickly. Chair people, I gave you a memo that does this step by step a couple of weeks ago. I have extras of these memos that I will have over here with Alex that you can get if you've misplaced your memo. All right, bills may be amended by committee members during the committee hearings. This is the only time we can amend bills. Don't be thinking, oh, we'll just change it in the full session. You can't. It has to happen today. Only one amendment per bill is allowed. The individual who makes the motion to amend becomes the amendment sponsor. So if someone has an idea to amend a bill, what should they do?
Come up there and write it.
Yes. Okay, so during debate time, Deidre says, you know what, I think we should change this bill. I want to amend this bill to say blah, 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 blah. Then you should say, Deidre, Ms. Hoffman, please walk up to the overhead, use the overhead pen, and write your amendment on the bill. Once she writes the amendment out during the discussion time, then, chair people, what you have to do is ask the committee, is there a second to amend the bill? Meaning, is there a third of the committee here that will second that motion to amend so we can talk about it? All right? As it says here, a motion to amend can be made only by a committee member who has been granted the floor. A motion to amend must include an overhead clearly written of additions or deletions to the bill. A second to the motion to amend is required. 1/3 of the committee members present must second the motion. Seconding a motion occurs at the conclusion of the amendment sponsor's floor time. Now, 1/3 of the committee seconds the motion to amend. That just means it's worth talking about. Doesn't mean you pass it. Just means it's worth talking about. We all get this, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you for the, because again, I don't read this expression. Yes, I need the affirmation. All right, good. All right, so if 1/3 of the committee seconds the motion to amend, then Chairman, you set aside the original discussion time, and you set a new block of time to discuss the amendment. That debate time, though, cannot exceed 10 minutes. So if it's a simple amendment, maybe you just want a couple of minutes. If it's more involved, really changing the bill, you might want all 10 minutes. At that point, Chairman, I want you to send someone from your committee to go get the bill sponsors. Now, how do you know where the bill sponsors are, Chairman?
The bill locator.
Bill locator form. So maybe you send the parliamentarian, maybe you send the person in your committee that looks the most bored and looks like they need to get up. You go and send them to go get, and that can't be you. You need to go send them to go get the bill sponsors. So you guys then use that time to debate the amendment. Changes to the amendment sponsor's overhead description of the amendment may be made during the debate of the amendment. amendment sponsor's approval. There's only one amendment per bill, so during the discussion time of the amendment, if anyone else has ideas, they should bring it up during that time and try to persuade the amendment sponsor to add stuff to his or her amendment. At the end of the discussion time of the amendment, the bill sponsor should be there. At that point, Chairman, you're going to take out the yellow amendment sponsor form. Bertie, what if the bill sponsors don't sign this? You can't do it. You just erase what you put up there and go back to original discussion time. Probably the committee is bitter and will fail the bill, but I'm just saying. Okay? Do you have questions about that? Thank you. All right. Here we go. Return your binder to the mailbox and your folder, your red folder, in front of the LRC before you leave today. Clean up your committee area before leaving, throw away paper name placards, but keep the hard staff tags, the things we can use for next semester. Now, you have until 10th hour to finish your committee hearings. Probably most of the committees will finish up around 6, 7, 8, I'm thinking. If that happens, like it's halfway between a period, then your committee is dismissed to watch other committees until the bell rings, and then they go to the rest of their class schedule for the day. Some of your committees might be done 7th hour. Some of you might go through 9th hour. I can't set a time limit. There's no right or wrong. Okay? While you're waiting for the next speaker to arrive, pass out the bills. There's a stack of bills on the overhead in each of your committee areas. In between bills, while you're waiting for the next speaker to arrive, pass out the bills to the people in your committee. Have them read it. Okay? To kind of prepare for the next person. Put the overhead of the bill up here. Just sort of get ready. Again, if you finish before the end of the hour, dismiss your committee to watch other committees still in progress until the bell rings. All right. This is a little shout out for Mrs. Lyman, I don't know where she is. Try to discourage clapping. Because, especially in these areas here, we're pretty close. And if it's like a clap fest, it's hard to hear the debate next door. Okay? So when people are done, maybe a big smile. Okay, maybe clapping like this, okay? But if everyone's clapping like this, it's going to be hard to hear. Okay? So when they're done, an encouraging smile is good enough. All right? All right. Many of the verbal and nonverbal witness forms got shuffled around, so if you follow the script, just ask people if they're here as guests, like, are you here to testify on a bill? What are you here to testify for? Some verbal and nonverbal witness statements got put in your mailbox after school yesterday, so chairman, check your mailbox one last time if you didn't do so this morning. Do you have any questions? All right, one more thing for the clerks. We're going to go get the speakers, right? There are maps up front here. If you want to go get a map, clerks, you can go grab a map so you know where to find people. All right, what I want you to do with the remainder of the time is you're going to go set up your committee area. We just sort of put the name tags out, but you guys can tape them down. If there are two people that are going to be like doing this to each other the whole committee hearing, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you. Separate them, okay? And tape down their name tags. The chairman should probably be sitting sort of in the middle of the U in the center of the action there. Clerks, you should probably be sitting in a place where it's easier for you to get in and out of the room. Secretaries, the same. You should probably be sitting on the end so it's easy for you to get